And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Wednesday night with those guys. And as you know, this is the home where we talk about everything in the drone world and promote the usage of drones. And as you know, it is sponsored by
those guys.
And if the weather has been good where you are, please let us know how the weather is where you are. We have a big night tonight, and let us know if you've been able to get out and fly your drones. We got a big night tonight, guys. We want to let you know that, as everyone should have known, that the AUVSI Exponential started Monday, and it's supposed to be wrapping up, I guess, tomorrow. But if you've been able to get out and check it out, I know Draymond was over there, and he was able to check it out, recovery drones. No, he sent out a lot of videos and stuff that everybody's been able to check out. And also, I noticed that there was a firmware that was out that for the, what was that, for the Air 2S. So now it supports the EU C1 class certification. So now you can, I guess, fly in, I guess, A1 open category with that drone. So have fun, have at it. But also, I noticed that your friends over at Drone DJ Lawrence, they mentioned that the best mini drone camera mini drone camera drones or mini camera drones for the 2024, and on that list was the DJI Mini 2 SE and the Mini 3, with the Mini 2 SE coming in at 70 or 279, and the Mini 3 coming in at 549. But hey, listen, that's what they say, but who knows? But other than that, that's the stuff that has been on the headlines for the week. So other than that, what's going on with you? You
Yeah,
see?
I'm here. I had to mute for a second. I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on in the chat. Not a whole lot's happening. Like we said, that there's an update for the Air 2S if you're in the UK, or I guess plan on going to the UK. And then the this I'm looking at the wrong article. Okay. This what was it? Drone of the year? Not drone of the year. Best drone, most affordable drone.
Best mini camera drone. Yeah.
The Mini 2 SE.
Yeah. And the and the Mini 3. Yeah. I guess.
And or the Mini 4 Pro. Yes, you're right. 100% right about that.
But
the price varies too. So from $300 up until about $1,000, whatever your price range is.
True.
If you want to learn how to fly or just get into it.
But
they have all of those price ranges covered.
But that drone is being revamped. I mean,
yeah, I was getting ready to say they're getting ready to put a new chip inside it, aren't they?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it a little bit later.
But okay, yes, we will.
What was the thing that was I wanted to mention? It came up last week, and I had saw the article when I was looking at some of the stuff, and I didn't know too much about it and know anything else about it, but what was in the article. And it was brought to our attention by one of the guys in the chat about this ANZU Robotics, the Raptor and the and the thermal edition of it. And I did some looking around and some I started talking. Well, I said, you know what? Let me speak to the guy that is involved in getting it done. And he agreed to come on tonight, and hopefully he will be here tonight to talk to you.
Yes. I'm looking forward to this because we as a drone community was saying, here in the United States, we need to come up and bring tech back. And all along in the background, these guys were bringing tech back. You know, I heard, and don't quote me on this, but I also heard that somewhere in New York State, they plan on building a chip factory. I'll find out the information in more detail, SJM, but hopefully our guest will come on when it's time to, and we can answer some of you guys' questions. Until then, can I play that video real quick? Or well, if that'll kill time until he gets here.
Which video?
ANZU Robotics.
Uh,
Sharing.
I mean, if you
Sharing is caring. Don't mind me, I'm messing with Herman.
hold on a second, hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You guys can watch this real quick while we wait for our guest to get here.
Hi, I'm Randall Warnas, CEO of American-owned and operated ANZU Robotics.
You can hear it fine? Good.
And we're looking forward to telling you more about our two new powerful drone platforms, the ANZU Robotics Raptor and Raptor T. We responded to the challenges of making high-quality and affordable commercial drones by licensing some of the best drone technology available, and producing them in a way in which prioritizes reliability, geopolitical neutrality, all while ensuring the security of your data. The Raptor series drones are amongst the most portable for industrial use. With its up to 45-minute flight time, 9-mile range of control, and remote ID readiness, these are fit to be at the center of your organization's aerial operations. The payload on the Raptor is a 4/3-inch 20-megapixel CMOS wide-angle camera, coupled with a 12-megapixel camera. Now, these both have mechanical shutters to avoid blurring situations as you're taking imagery while you're moving, and they're perfect for aerial inspection as well as mapping missions. Now, if you're in need of thermal capabilities, we have the Raptor T, which is perfect for public safety, utility inspection, solar inspections, and other use cases like that. This couples a 640 by 512 high-resolution thermal sensor with both a 48 megapixel and a 12 megapixel camera. Both variations of the Raptor have 56 times hybrid zoom capabilities. The flight app for the Raptor and Raptor T is developed entirely in the United States by our strategic partner Aloft. Let's go to Brad Llewellyn, Chief Product Officer of Aloft, to tell us a little bit more about the software.
Thanks, Randall. Aloft has been developing software solutions for drone operators since 2015. We're a UAS service supplier providing market-leading LANs, fleet management, and UTM services. From the flight app that controls the Raptor to all the other air control features like flight logging and live video streaming, we can assure you that the data coming off the Raptor series drones is secure on US-based servers.
I mean, I don't know how much
security
of the video you want to show. I'd like to have the gentleman speak for the drone itself, but you know, as far as that is concerned,
I'll put it in the chat. So anyway,
yeah. So anybody who wants to check it out, check it out. There was the thing what we were mentioning before. We talked about the fact that what was it, the drone for the I got shit mixed up now. All right, the firmware update that had come out for the Air 2S.
yes.
It just seems like the Air 2S just can stay around forever.
It's a good drone. They're still making money off of it. I think they should keep it keep it out in the pasture, grazing on the grass, making money.
The Air 2S lasts for about what?
Listen, I still enjoy mine.
When did that drone come out?
Good question. Good question. Thank goodness for Google. Air 2. Launch date was in okay. Is it being discontinued? I'm trying here. Google is not. Okay, when did? It's all about wording now. Did. Air 2S launch date. I cannot find it. That's weird. 2021. Nope. Its official release date, April 15th. April 15th in 2021. So 2021. She's been around for a while.
Right. And every time you turn around, there's always something being implemented for it.
Yeah.
Even with aftermarket products.
Yes, yes, yes. Aftermarket products. Hey, Charlie, let me say what's up to everybody real quick so
Yeah.
we can get it out the way. What's up, Matt Bagwell, Drone Psych, John Olson, One Vision Aerial, Bill Coast to Coast, John JC, John Olson, Steve, Steve Drones and Media, RJ. Who else? Who else? Who else is here? Matt Bagwell is here earlier. Um, Takeoff, lift, and land. He doesn't type much. Michael William Blades. Hey, what's going on? I didn't see you come into the
Okay.
chat. That's about it. And what's up to all you guys and you lurkers? Click that like button, please, so we can get all of that out of the way. And I know I had sent out a few posts telling people to come in early because our guest only had 30 minutes. Okay,
Yeah,
so
still waiting to hear from them.
okay, if you want, I can talk for a while and
Yeah.
you can send out another email or something, and I'll keep everyone entertained here. But as far as that that firmware update for the Air 2S, allowing it to be certified for the C1 certificate over in Europe, that's what people have been waiting for, because up until that point, I didn't know they had to jump through a whole bunch of hoops and stuff just to fly that drone. And it will allow the Air 2S over in Europe to adhere to remote ID, also the remote ID requirements in that part of the hemisphere. So DJI has always been compatible with the following, has released the following firmware. The one for the RCN1 remote controller, that's version 4.12.2.0. And then the RC controller, that version is 1.3.1300. The RC Pro 3.2.700, and the Smart Controller 1.1.0.76. So if you're in the EU, in fact, Stephen, who listens from Finland, he should be happy. No, they're talking about minefield and stuff. I haven't been able to keep up with the stuff. Sorry about that, guys. No, our guest that's supposed to be here is actually probably busy because he's at that convention.
Yeah, he's
at the
exponential.
At the drone exponential, and he did let us know that he had 30 minutes he could squeeze with us, so we will, maybe he's running a little late. Did you get off that email?
I'm sending it out to him now because I sent him the link.
Okay, all right.
Earlier.
Well, it's a matter of time. Maybe I have to sit down somewhere, find a quiet room, quiet space, whatever. But getting back to that firmware update, welcome Air 2S to being remote ID compliant in the EU and other parts of the world, and getting that C1 class certification. From what I was reading here, what did it say? For C1 certification, first you have to check your DJI Fly app, make sure that's up to date, and then connect your Air 2S to do the firmware update. Nothing major at all as far as that goes. They're talking about Minefield. I wish I could go to Minefield, but I'll probably be just a wee bit busy, depending on what time of the year it is. Who knows what's going on? Yeah, that's over by Karen in Tennessee, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Yeah, that's chat. Out there in Tennessee, I believe that is. Yeah.
Hey D, welcome.
That is very far to travel to.
Across from the East Coast to Tennessee. Yes.
You know what, Lawrence? I'm gonna continue on. And when he comes in, he comes in.
Okay.
I don't know if he may have gotten the time mixed up or he hasn't been able to get away to be able to do this.
It's in Brownsville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
In Ken Heron country.
Well, Ken is usually who sponsors this.
Oh, see. I heard he was a sponsor. I didn't know he sponsored.
Yeah, he was the one that made this an event.
Okay. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, because he was the one that actually introduced it, and then got guys to come and fly there with him. He did like how he did with the day after Christmas event.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, that's
then it
become very
grew,
popular.
and then
The
it
day after
grew, and
Christmas
it
meetup.
grew. Well, even that is probably even bigger because it actually became a big event because a lot of guys who fly FPV love to fly through the whole, structure of the artwork, and they're welcome to do it there. So that's why that's become such a big thing.
Yeah. Well, let's go on with the stream, and if Mr. Warnas gets here, he will. And like we said, he is at the Exponential convention that they're having over in California. So time may be running behind, time may be off, whatever the situation. What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to Wednesday night with those guys.
Welcome everyone. I will probably send them another message. I don't know. Sent him that one, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But moving along, back on what was it, December 13th,
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday night with those guys, 138, we had mentioned that DJI had released what was that, a power bank series over in the Asian market, and it didn't release here. It released over in the Asian market, right? First,
Right.
well, apparently last week Friday, it has been released here to the United States on the North American market. The DJI Power Series, the Power 500 and the 1000. Now, it seems like from looking on the DJI website that the 1000 is the only one that is available. But you're talking about a fast charging system that will charge what they say is two Inspire 3 batteries simultaneously. Now, this is DJI has never offered this before,
Right.
but I guess they're doing it now. We talking about dual USB-C at a maximum output of 140 watts. Not bad. Pretty good.
Yeah.
They claim that it runs quiet at 32 dBs. It can charge with the USB-C cord, USB-C cable. So
Okay.
that's a plus. So it's constantly on the go, keeping it on the go, keeping it charged if you need to charge it. The beauty of this, like I said, fast charging, is that they claim in 70 minutes you can get a full charge on the on both series, the 5 and the 1000. And it
Right.
has up to a 4,000 cycle life, which is pretty good, I assume. What do you think?
I think it's great. Everyone's been waiting for DJI to come out with their own power system.
You think
We
so?
have a few
But
here that they sell in the States, but
well, the thing is that you're talking about, what is it, 2,200 watt maximum output on this, on the 1000. So that's why it's able to run high, larger appliances and stuff like that.
yeah, UAVP says he uses the EcoFlow power bank. So I'm
Right.
guessing you have the solar panels. That's like a
Right.
standard.
So DJI is trying to get into that market.
Mm-hmm.
with those power banks that those guys are talking about in the chat, the EcoFlow and and what was the other Anchor?
Yeah,
So, I think this is good. They also have protection for overcharge and for undercharging of the system. So there's a lot there's a lot going on with this DJI power bank.
now,
The one no, excuse me, no, right, like I said, the one right now available, I noticed there was only was the 1000.
yeah,
Well, the 1000 is sold, they say, with two series of the three actually, just the 1000 by itself, and
right.
two with the one solar panel and one with three solar panels. Well, both of those seem to be sold out. So
They're sold out all the time. It was on sale for the first couple of days. That's that pre-order thing that they get you on, Matt Bagwell. I know, but the 500 series is I like that one, that size too. That's very portable.
it is, but the
I
1000
like it.
series is what you need.
Right, the 1000 is what you need to fly and work all day. If you charge that and take it with you to a job site, you have all day power. That's true. Because you can fly and charge.
I know one thing: you show up at a meetup with it, you're gonna have a lot of friends.
That's true, right? Hey, can I get a charge? Especially if you have multi-chargers. But it's I'm glad DJI came out with it. I like the specs on it. It's looks like a formidable power supply that'll
Right.
sell here in the States. Yeah, I mean, you have EcoFlow, which I'm familiar with, and one or two other brands, and most of those use the solar panels
Yeah.
to charge also. I'm wondering if solar panels are adaptable to the 500 or 1000 series DJI. Or is there some type of, because it's a
You mean
type C adapter.
you mean other brands adapted
Yeah, yeah,
solar panels?
yeah. Knowing DJI, they'll probably come out with their own set of solar panels, smaller, that collect more power. It's, I'm pretty sure of it.
I
That's a
don't know.
lot better than my 12-volt battery and my 400-watt inverter, Philip Koshak says.
Well, I mean, they both are easy to carry around if you have a vehicle to put it in.
True. That's true. That you can bolt it down or strap it down at least. Not bolt
What?
it, but strap it down. The
What?
power supply.
Those
Yeah,
things?
you have,
You just throw it in the
huh?
back. Just throw it in the back.
Yeah,
You're
well,
gonna
yeah,
take
you
it
don't
out
want to
anyway.
bounce. You don't want it bouncing around, especially with New York streets, right?
It's bouncing around is it gonna do more than your drone does?
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Just lay it down. Just
We're
lay it
still
down.
we're still actually waiting for Mr. Randall Warnas to contact us and let us know if he's still going to be able to make the stream tonight. We will keep you guys posted as well.
Just
I
lay
use
it
my
down.
EcoFlow River Mini, get about 5 charges for Mavic 3 batteries and endless with Mini 2. Okay. And how many watts is that? Hey, Ronnie, how are you? God bless America. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you guys tonight here on Hump Day. You know, it's the middle of the week. Some have to go to work tomorrow, some don't. It's all a matter of where you live in the United States and what you have to do, right? I guess. Hope all is well, Ronnie. Tell the wifey everyone says hello over here. And FYI, for
Right.
those of you who are planning to come to New York, I have a little announcement starting tomorrow. In fact, I'd rather show you. I'm going to do the TFR thing while you're
Oh,
doing that. There's a TFR issued for the state of New York, the tri-state area, New York and the tri-state area. It will be effective 4/25, 1930 Zulu time, which is 7:30 p.m. Up till 4/25 at 2100 Zulu time. So just to let you guys know, no flying in New York tomorrow. And guess where the big circle is?
Where?
Right here in Manhattan. Right here in Manhattan. And it's in the UN area. So the presidential activity coming to the state of New York City. Take a screenshot, do like we do. We go to Sky Vector to get all the latest TFRs in the area. Highly suggest you do too. But if you don't know what this means, pretty much, if you're out on Long Island in this areas, you're good to go. If you're way out here in Jersey, I guess you're good to go as well. But basically, all the way up into Connecticut, out into Jersey, out into the ocean, and this part of New York, this TFR will be effective. So just thought I'd let you know. Okay, now here, check this out. Effective, this around the UN, which means the East River. I could zoom in on it and stuff like that so you guys could see it better. But right here, effective today at 4/24, 17:30 hours. That's at 5:30 p.m., which is actually in 4 minutes. This one starts.
Okay.
Till 4/25, 0:30 hours. Till 12:30, from surface to 30,000 feet. Valid for 3 hours. So if you didn't know, you know now. And if you're flying along the East River, I'll transcribe this little area here. But if you're flying along the East River on the side where the UN is and all of that, I highly, highly suggest you don't. I'll put the link here. And actually, if you just go to your any web page and just, hey Warren, Gary, what's up? If you go to your browser and just type in Sky Vector, it'll probably show you all the TFRs going on around the United States. But it'll do it locally in your area. Like we live in New York, so it shows us the New York area.
Yeah, basically.
Because my name is Ron.
What happened?
Yeah, I was reading the answer. RJ was saying, I only remember because my name is Ronnie. I also go by Ron. Warren, what's good, man? How are you? Hope all is well. Gary, good day to you up in Canada. How's the weather up there with you guys? So my YouTube, yes, Warren, your YouTube will be illegal because they're going up to 30,000 feet tomorrow. Actually, from today, 5:30 until. But it's quite easy to see if there's a TFR in the area. You just go to that site that I posted there, like Sky Vector. And
oh yeah,
that's YouTube. That's a damn YouTube video. I didn't put the Sky Vector. Let me go here. I said I was going
saying that for the longest time about Sky Vector.
Yeah,
once we heard about it and understood how it worked.
I mean, being a Part 107 helps you be able to read the map better, but this is even if you're not Part 107, you just move the mouse over an area that's highlighted, and it will tell you from what time to what time. And
well, you can put your airport information in.
Yes. But right, the local airport near you. Okay, so UAVP says, yes, you are okay at 31,000 feet. If you're in a passenger jet.
Well, pretty much.
Yeah, if you're in a passenger jet, yes, of course. More thumbs up. Yeah, we could use a couple more thumbs up. But like we said, we're still waiting for Randall Warnas to contact us and let us know if he can still make it to the live stream.
Well,
and until then, stream still goes.
He did email me back this morning and said that he was going to make it. I have
Well, timing might be off.
So
Timing may be
if
off.
the timing is off and he's in California, then it's going to be bad because he'll show up when the stream is over.
Yeah, I know.
And
It'll
that's
be 8 o'clock here, 8 p.m. here, and it'll be 5 p.m. there in California.
right. And I covered that with him as far as the time was concerned. So
Technically, not even a kite with the GoPro attached, unfortunately. If it can, UAVP is asking, can you fly a kite with a GoPro attached to it?
no.
Yeah, unfortunately. But c'est la vie, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason I didn't go flying this morning.
Why? Why? Because you wanted to fly a kite with a GoPro on it?
No, no.
Oh,
Gary, what's up, man? How are you? Hope all is well. What's going on here?
it's that time, Lawrence, believe it or not.
Oh, it is that time. Okay.
Yeah. Wednesday night with those
All right,
guys.
go for it.
Sponsored by those guys.
Those guys. And right on time, too. Not bad. Not bad. We're on point here. Now, I got 2 submissions. Actually, I don't have the second one. I have it in Messenger. But for our one shot, we're asking people to send in one shots with their sin whoops. 101. Do a shot every 5 minutes. Your guest is late.
Every 5
Yeah,
minutes.
sure. Do a shot.
You know what? The troublemaker would always be that guy.
Who, Warren?
I'm not saying no names. I'm just saying the same troublemaker will always show up all the time.
Yes. Yeah. So what were we talking about? Lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the one shot.
Oh, okay. Getting back to that. We are asking you guys in about a week, probably next week, to send us a 2-minute one shot. Okay. With a sin whoop. Whether it be your Avata 2, your Avata 1, a Sin 25, a Sin 35. If it's a Sin whoop, send us a one-shot video from beginning to end, one battery, one cut. You start at the beginning, you end the video like that. And we're going to start showing one-shots on here every week. I got one already from Marcel. He sent the first one, and then John, JC's flying. He sent one, but it's more than 2 minutes long. So I guess I'm gonna have to cut it or something.
Of course, John's is more than 2 minutes long because you said that the limit was 2 minutes.
Right. So he had to pass the 2 minutes.
Of course he did. It's John. It wouldn't be right if John didn't go above and beyond.
That wouldn't be John. You're right. You're 100% right
God
about it.
forbid he was under a minute. A minute.
This is true. Very, very true. Let's see what's happening here. Hey, Angie, how are you? Hey, guys, good evening. Hope all is good. I almost forgot what time of the week it was. It's hump day.
Oh,
You're doing good.
yeah, it's that time of the week. Yeah.
What else we got? What else? I'll mention that TFR later on too.
Okay.
Just in case people didn't hear it or lurkers coming later, they say I'm going flying tomorrow or I'm going flying tonight.
You mentioned this. Well, we mentioned this earlier, and we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago before we went to Florida. That DJI had plans to change the video, I guess, chip or the chip that would cause the drone to be able to record or shoot or whatever 4K video.
Right.
Right. They were gonna move from the H22A 35 to the H22A 55. That was the chip that was going to allow them to be able to process 4K. I see now that it's come up again. So I believe that it's a deal, and you know, I guess you guys could see that as when you're whatever when you if you, because I don't know if and when they gonna, if this is something new, when the drone is supposed to be produced. I haven't seen a date or anything.
Right.
Is it, you know, there was also like some FCC stuff that was supposedly produced on it. I haven't. I honestly, I didn't even look for it. I just saw this article before, and it came up as talk, and I saw it and I read it, and I said, "Oh shit!" It came up again. Let me understand this. They said that they had plans to do it, but I didn't see any movement on it, and I didn't see anything on it. But I guess that would be on now. On the same operating system and everything that it's been on.
Right.
With this new chip in it. So when that time comes, that time will come, right?
Oh, and I'm wondering.
But see, I saw this, you know, from Drone DJ, and I saw this a couple of times.
Well, it's actually good that they're doing, because it's showing that they still have a technology that works, and if you can make it better by changing the chip. All right, I don't know many devices that shoot in 2.7 anymore, so you're basically rebranding the Mini SE2 by putting that 4K chip into it.
Honestly,
and all it is a graphics chip. A camera, an alternative camera chip, they call it.
Yeah. Which is, I didn't know it was that simple.
Makes you wonder about a lot of other devices, huh? Makes you wonder about a lot of other devices that you have. If they change a chip in a 1-inch Air 2S and it shoots 5K now, could they bump it up to about 7 or 8K? I'm just saying, hypothetically.
What? They don't have no more of those bodies laying around. Well, I probably do, because, you know, they probably swap them in and out. The swap system.
UAVP says, I'm still using. Hey, Jim's droning, how are you? I'm still using my Mini 2. For those of you who came here to see Mr. Randall Warnas, we are still waiting for him to pop in, and or are hoping that we didn't get times crossed, and he's thinking 5:05 p.m. is not 5:05 p.m. Pacific, but 5:05 Eastern here. So we don't know what's going on. We haven't heard back from him, but when we do, I'm sure we'll let you guys know. And if he thinks that it's 5:05 p.m. Pacific, that means when he tries to log on, no one will be there.
And I'm hoping that he didn't do that, because that was one of the first things we did, was got the time down on
New York City time, California time. Right.
Right.
Now he is at the Exponential convention over there, so he may be busy.
Yeah, I understand.
He may not be able to get away. Technically, it's about 3:38 p.m. there in the afternoon.
Right, the middle of
early afternoon there.
Yeah, the middle of the afternoon. And he hasn't said anything, but like I said before, you know, as far as that is concerned, the that Mini, we're talking about the Mini 2 SE, right? And the 4K capability. That they seem to keep trying to keep that drone around, you know. I guess it's because of the low price on the drone, but I mean, by changing the chip,
think that is.
Are they going to keep the price down?
Basically, what it is. I think that's what it is.
You're gonna have to introduce it some other way than just the Mini 2 SE.
You see what Philip, what Koshak put? He says that could probably bump it up, but the problem is the heat and trying to disperse it, which definitely is an issue. If you put a stronger chip in, it's definitely going to get hotter. Will they burn out boards? Who knows? Maybe the board was designed to handle that, and someone said,
Just
let's
fly.
put it 2 points. Huh?
Just fly it.
I would hope so, Jeff.
Overheating is not an issue when the drone is moving in the sky.
Jeff says, I sure hope he knows about time zones.
Yeah, you and I both, because I'm not I didn't see anything from him.
Right. Well, it is what it is, and the stream must go on regardless. And we have a bunch of stuff from ANZU Robotics just in case. And I don't usually do this, and I wrote down some things I wanted to ask him. I don't usually write stuff down.
No?
I have it on an envelope, but I wrote it down. A few things.
You have it on
I didn't even
envelope.
get a piece of paper. I had to do it while I was thinking about it. And what I saw was the envelope. So I started doodling on the envelope question. Because I was going to ask a geopolitical question. I was going to ask a technology transfer question, and a couple of third-party questions.
I'm hoping that he still can make it, and you'll still be able to ask him that question. Hopefully he checks his emails, because I've sent him an email. Matter of fact, maybe I should send him another one. I don't know what the hell. But you know what? Send him another one.
Why not? Why not? One of them will get through. I'm guessing. But getting back to that Mini SE, getting the new camera chip. Now my question is, it's already going at a price of from $299 to $270. Wait a minute. From $299 to $279. It's going for at $279. Will they bring it back up to $300 by putting a chip in, or will they just put the chip in and keep it at the same price of $279? You understand what I'm saying?
Who knows?
Excuse me. It's a good thing to find out. But if you could take a lower res camera, a sub 4K camera, and make it a 4K camera, that's not bad.
Well, see, it's not so much the sensor, because you can bounce around the same. It's what the processor and everything inside of can handle. Yeah, the sensors.
True, that's true.
The sensor, they're probably using the same sensors.
Jeff Norman says, text them, Herman. You'll get too many ads and emails.
What happened?
Jeff Norman said, text him. We all get too many ads in emails.
Ads?
So text them. Hey, good morning, Rob, over in Australia. How are you? Good morning to Rob and Sue over in the land down under. You guys transitioning into your winter as we transition into our summer, end of spring/summer.
That was quick.
Hope all is well. Sue, I hope you're keeping them in check. You know, Rob needs a pat on the back every now and then, just to let him know people are watching him. Keep him out of trouble.
That's how it is.
Yeah, Rob's the troublemaker there. I'm sure Sue keeps him in check. Anyway, good morning to you guys over there, definitely. In Australia.
And who?
In Australia, it's morning time over there. Australia, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, nice and cold. Sue's birthday soon. Interesting. Yeah. What are you gonna do, man? Sue's birthday's coming up soon.
You probably
and you can't get her in, and you can't take the dog and wrap him in a box and say, here, we got another dog. That won't work either. Take off and lift. Flew to Air 3 with goggles. It was a great experience. Combination adds tons of confidence for cleaner work instead of apprehension that can come with the line of sight footage or small screen. Okay, you like the Air 3 with the goggles, you're saying.
That's
Okay,
nice.
that's good. That's good. For those of you who don't know, do not fly from 5:30 p.m. today until tomorrow night, midnight. There is a TFR. I will keep posting it. You guys here in the state of New York, there is an active TFR going on as we speak. It started at 5:30 p.m. today.
Is it?
In the UN area. Okay, but basically, this one starts at 7:30 up to 18,000. This one will be live in 22 hours. So that's going to be here for a while. Just go to Sky Vector, but there's a TFR going on, guys.
Okay.
I'll keep posting it. Be the bearer of bad news. I don't care. Shoot the messenger. It might be tea time in California. That's funny. I hear helicopters flying over. Wondering,
They're
you
coming
know
to
what?
get
I have flight radar 24. Why am I even looking out the window when I can just pull this up and see what was
They're
flying?
probably not on there.
Hmm?
They're probably not on there.
Yeah, there's a helicopter. It is, he said, flying at 1,200 feet. Flex jet vertical.
Jack Rabbit, what's good, Scott? How you doing?
Sikorsky, New York Aviation. Okay.
You know,
it's one of those luxury helicopters flying out to Long Island.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. All right. Now getting back to it. Scott, how are you? Lloyd's in town. All right. I hope you guys get to sit down and break bread. Is the grumpy vlogger in town? I haven't seen him tonight.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Who's in town?
Oh, Lloyd.
In town?
Is Lloyd in town? He's wondering if Lloyd was around.
Here?
Has Herman? Hey, Herman.
Yeah.
Rob feet on the ground says, has Herman dropped a few pounds? His face looks thinner.
Oh, I don't
Ronnie,
know.
a TFR is a total flight restriction, usually for presidential movement, high political. Nobody's supposed to fly drones.
Okay.
You get caught flying, it could be a lot of trouble. The site is skyvector.com. It's this site here. And if you put it in, it'll tell you in your local area. You put in your local airport. The grumpy vlogger is my president, so I thought that God says the grumpy vlogger is my
you.
So I thought that was why you had the TFR. Oh no, Lloyd's not in New York, man.
The other one.
Oh, see, takeoff, lift, and land is mentioned in those guys meet up, New York City.
Okay. Well, here's it.
What's up, D-Dub?
TFR.
How are you?
TFR stands for temporary flight restriction, which means that if we announce it on here, that means it is presidential, and it's the area for here in New York City, in this area.
Did you talk about it? And I'll pull it up on.
We would lose our mind going over TFRs for the entire country. So
yeah, we could spend the whole show
because if you actually if everybody who's in all 50 states was at the same time while we're here talking, pull up Sky Vector, there'd be a TFR somewhere.
I'm showing them now. This red one is DC. This is the DC area, the White House. There's a smaller one here, and you have some smaller orange ones. But right now on the Northeast coast is this one that's in effect now here in the state of New York from 5:30 p.m. It's now 5:49 p.m. Okay. And it's basically centered around the UN. It says effective. And you can use your mouse. You don't have to know how to read these charts. You should learn how to become a Part 107, but it is, you move the mouse over each section, it tells you when each section starts, etc. Each section starts at a different time. It shows SFC, surface to 17,099, which is basically 18,000 feet. It's not hard.
Well,
But put in your
you would have to
airport.
know what those abbreviations mean.
Yes, yeah.
And,
That is
but-
true. That is true.
but
Like
technically,
you have JFK Airport, huh?
there should be a better way of everyone knowing in your area.
It should be. It should be, and that's why if you
Than for
use
you to
a
go
lot-
out to where you want to fly and then you can't fly. But I believe that before you doesn't what is it, before you fly and also aloft both cover this?
aloft, which is now before you fly.
Well, they're both still around. You know, they're both still their own separate entity.
Thanks. I waited for such a long time for the new upgrade. Okay. I'm
Upgrade.
just trying to keep up with the chat because I had other windows up. But are they expecting us? It's presidential. Like Herman said, Ronnie, usually when we show TFRs here in New York, they are presidential. We don't, then they have Fleet Week and other different ones. But the presidential ones,
VIP, VIP,
they're all made.
right?
Yeah.
If they're important.
Yes, like Fleet Week, and then you have UN Week. It's always something going on in New York. A president wants to see a show on Broadway, or somebody wants to see a show on Broadway.
So you can't
they'll
fly
do it
at 2:00 in the afternoon because
something
to see a show in the evening. But we are expecting.
Ronnie said he laughed. He says he thought it was so important. Exactly.
We are expecting Mr. Randall Warnas to be coming in very shortly to speak with us on this drone that has been brought to our attention last week, and
You respond to the email?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So really want everybody welcome Mr. Randall Warnas.
Yo, tell me that I'm 8 minutes early and not an hour and 8 minutes late.
Well, something like not an hour, but you're like a few minutes late. Yeah.
Bro, I was at the trade show and I would show you my calendar. I had this on for 3 p.m. my time, where I'm in San Diego for Exponential, and so I apologize if you guys been waiting. I showed up and I saw a bunch of messages and I was like, did I mess something up? So not my intention, guys. I think it was a matter of traveling from one place to another at different time zones, and it didn't switch on my calendar.
I assume
Don't worry about it.
But that's all right. Don't worry about it. You're here. Thank you.
You're here now.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. It was the guys in the chat that asked, for more information on this drone. So I figured I would reach out to you and let's get it. What's going on?
I just want to first apologize. Second, for real, I was slamming some pizza, being like, all right, I got a few minutes before I start this thing, and then I was looking at my email for the first time today, and I saw this. So I there's no excuse, but I would never leave you guys hanging. I'm a man of my word. I show up when I show up. So here I was, 8 minutes early. Left meetings to get here on in my mind 8 minutes early. So I hope you guys don't see it as disrespect. It was my bad on something with the scheduling.
No, listen,
no. I assume that's what it was.
We had your back. It was either a time zone issue or you couldn't get away from the crowd. Or it was something like that, but we had your back, so don't worry about it.
I got away from the crowd in time. I know how to get out of those things. There's no problem at all. I just man, it's on my calendar.
For starters, we know your time is limited, but for starters, can you introduce yourself? We'll take it from there.
I don't know if you'll see this, but this says right here, in 8 minutes, podcast guest. Podcast thing in 8 minutes.
Yes.
So
yes.
I had it on my calendar.
Well, here's this. We expected you to be here for a half hour at 5 after 5
Yeah.
New York time, Eastern time. So whatever time you can give us.
No, I got you a half hour if you want it. It's if it's whatever time I can give you to make up for my mistake.
Well, whatever time you can give us,
Yeah.
we want
If
to
you
talk
can give
about
us, you can give us a half hour at a minimum, we'll gladly take more.
Hell
Right.
yeah. Well,
So-
you got
so-
a half hour. Let's chat.
So what I want to talk
Okay.
about is, we know that this is a US based company, right? Like, what sparked this? Because we kind of know like what's everything that's going on with all of the things about the Chinese made drones.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, obviously that's the reason that this opportunity landed in my lap is because of the, geopolitical stuff that revolves around the drone space, especially when it comes to Chinese manufactured drones. But I've been in the space for 10 years now. I started DJI Enterprise back in November, December of 2015. So I was at the mothership for almost 2 years running DJI Enterprise. I was at FLIR for 5 years, and DJI was still a partner during that period. Was briefly the CEO of ANZU Robotics. So I mean, like, why that's important, those things are important, is DJI knows who I am. I was an employee, a trusted employee. I left on good terms. I went to a US manufacturer stuff, but we still had partner products in the ZEMUs XT and XT2. Spent a lot of time in their offices, and really the concept of this of taking the best drone technology in the world and moving it to a different country for country of origin purposes, and then having it being a US owned entity that you can hold legally responsible for some of the stuff that happens and make sure that data is secure. That's not a new concept, and I think a lot of people have thought, what happens if why wouldn't a company just move their technology from China into a different place? Does that solve the problem? And I think that the opportunity came up to solve that problem and support public safety entities around the country that have been shut down from using Chinese manufactured drones, and that then makes their communities less safe because they have smaller numbers of drones. They're more expensive, so their budgets don't go as far. Try to give them a solution also for large and small entities that are concerned about country of origin, to give them a pathway forward where they're not just forced to go from, not Chinese to blue. And that path, there's a huge amount of money in that gap. And I feel like, the idea is to save people's budgets and give people a super data secure, reliable, high performing drone. So that's what caused it.
Okay, but you are manufacturing
Okay.
Malaysia, right?
In Malaysia, yeah.
Yeah.
And we could move the manufacturing to US or Mexico or somewhere else, but Malaysia has had long-standing good trade relations with the United States. The cost of labor is not as high as it would be in other places, and really this is all about still maintaining that affordability of the drone technology without, doing too much to it to then make it so that it's just one and the same. I don't think that people, when they're purchasing, are too concerned about that unless there's absolute mandates that it's made in the US, which those are not the people that we're trying to appeal to with this. There's other options for that.
That was it. You were saying, Large?
Well, I have a few questions, and I wanted to let you know, Randall, we've been doing this live 3 years plus. I've never written down questions, but I have questions written down to you. Okay, pertaining to this.
That.
I wanted to know first is your drones are enterprise. Do you plan on sticking with just enterprise and pursuing me going into the consumer end down the line? And if so, if you plan on staying enterprise, what are you going to do as far as third-party apps in the future? I know in order to cover all markets, you'd have to make yourself accessible for drone deploy, drone link.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, the question makes sense. So as far as the consumer stuff, we selling a high volume of drones is not necessarily what caused this, is not what sparked this idea, or not necessarily what I want to tango with. I think that there's opportunities like that could exist, and maybe the consumer market is less sensitive to country of origin. But what we've seen in recent news is there's an organization called Cotigo, Cotigo, that
Yes.
did start selling, you know, probably through a licensing agreement, probably through the same structure. We didn't know about this, but it seems like they have some of that consumer stuff going. I don't think that we're going to try to play in that game. I think there's certain drones that maybe are considered consumer that are used heavily in the enterprise space that maybe that would be a discussion down the line. But we are trying to serve the commercial, industrial, civic market, and their drone use more so than the consumer. And as far as the third-party app compatibility, we have an app available for the ANZU robotics products. We are in the first development of another party not involved with the actual launch of the product, meaning not ANZU and not Aloft, which is our kind of dedicated software partner.
Right.
Someone else building on it for expanding our photogrammetry capabilities. They're likely going to have something done and available on our app within the next, I don't know, 60. If I said 60 to 90 days, that's probably even too broad. But by the end of June, I would think that you'll see the first third-party app through our SDK available with a large photogrammetry organization. And then from there, we'll build out that ecosystem of different apps that add to the capabilities of what our drones can do.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to ask you, because I know, like, you know, we look at the drone and we look at the picture, other than the fact that it reminds us of the Incredible Hulk or a frog.
Yeah.
On the color of it.
Come on, man. That's really what you get out of it?
And
The first thing I
no.
when I saw it was a frog, but
Yeah,
you know,
same thing.
because I thought that about the DJI's original model, but it was great, and you know, I know that Aloft is your software developer, but what I want to ask you is that
got one of them back right here.
Okay, there it is.
I'll click
You know,
this off.
compared to
it has frog-like characteristics for sure. If I cover that up, especially like that's
exactly. Yeah, there it is.
I get you.
Exactly.
Compared to like the DJI Enterprise, because I'm a true believer of the spec is the spec. You know, if it you know looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it is
Probably
what it
a
is.
duck. Yeah.
So how does it compare to, say, like the Enterprise edition, other than the fact that it operates with Aloft's software?
So first I would say that the Aloft software, when you're using it, is going to feel very familiar. If you've navigated leading drone apps, you're going to find menus in the same place and the features going to be the same. As far as the manufacturing or the performance of the drone goes, I mean, 45-minute flight time is a spec you've probably seen before. 9 miles of range of control, you've probably seen that spec before. Obstacle avoidance stuff is all going to be on par. The flight experience is incredible on this thing, and you know, it's lucky for me that I've been a week-old company, but I have 10 plus years of engineering geniuses behind flight control and all of that. So you're going to have as stable a flight as you would have with any drone on the market. You're going to have, you know, packed full of specs to what you would expect with a product that was licensed that looks as our product does.
Okay, well, here's a really quick question. I mentioned it a little earlier about technology transfer deal. This is more of a statement into a question, but this is my hypothesis. Not even a few months ago, everyone was talking about the United States need to come up with a drone company to compete with DJI and things like that. And then boom, Cotigo came, and now ANZU Robotics has come out. Is there a deal made with DJI that has to do with technology a technology transfer deal? Being that DJI is the pinnacle right now of consumer or industry drones around the world, have they in somehow, way, shape, or form we're going to transfer this technology so everyone can catch up?
I would say
what I said makes sense.
You know, it does make sense. I want to make sure that I'm answering the right thing. So if I don't get to all the pieces of that, let me know. But I don't think that the licensing agreement that we have made is ultimately for the purpose of we really want to see the US build their own capabilities. I don't think that's the reason. I
Right.
think the reason is something else.
Okay.
The licensing agreement is basically like somebody giving you the recipe of your grandma's soup, and I take it over to a completely different place and make it in my kitchen, and it tastes the same, right? It tastes at least familiar. And from there, I have the opportunity to also add my own spices to it, to heat it up to a different temperature. It's my recipe, right? Like
Like
the recipe
Android.
transferred, but then now it's mine.
Right.
And so I think that when we talk about domestic drone capability, and as Americans, we're talking domestic in the United States, no one in the United States, as far as the drone manufacturer, is caught up to the capabilities of Chinese manufacturers because they have way more engineering. They started earlier. Cost of labor is cheaper. They have access to
Okay.
the supply chain right there. There's so many reasons that it's so hard for a U.S. company to catch up. What we shouldn't expect is that the U.S. drone, domestic drone capability is going to catch up by spending more taxpayers' dollars to subsidize these things. I think that there's other ways to go about that. And it shouldn't be the end user spending 5x on a drone that does half as much just because it's American to get there. I think that over time, the domestic capabilities will be there, and I think they are there when it comes to our, protecting our troops and the U.S. military. We have superior drone technology there that they can deploy. But what we're seeing in places like Ukraine and Israel and Gaza, like small drones are making a big impact. And
Yeah.
what we have with ANZU Robotics is a domestic manufacturer of drones. Even though it's manufactured in Malaysia, I can move that factory. It's just for cost purposes, passing it on. There's no reason to manufacture it in the US. But it is domestic capability, whether it was done by a licensing agreement and tech transfer, or I developed it from the ground up. It's still my technology, and I can build it in the way I want to build it and support the U.S. And users within the U.S. with that technology.
Mhm. You know what it is that
Well,
when everybody looks at the pictures and look at the drone itself, everybody
Yeah.
sees it looks just like the DJI, edition of the Enterprise, and it's just green.
Yeah.
So all of the updates and everything in the software and everything in it is all from you.
All controlled by me. So basically, when
All
this
controlled by you.
licensing agreement happened, we were provided with a snapshot in time of a firmware and a snapshot of time of an SDK, and it's put onto a loft servers to where no one can modify it, no one can touch it. So everything from that point in time on is control. It's lines of code that are controlled only by Aloft and us that we develop on. So yeah, I mean, like as far as the physical attributes of the drone, there was no reason to reinvent the wheel and make cosmetic changes just to do it. The color green, it stands out. It's a different brand. It helps tell the story, but we didn't change a lot to that recipe. It tasted good. We were like, people just want to eat this recipe. You just can't get it where, not everyone has access. So we wanted to expand that
right.
access. And really that's the mission at the bottom of this is it's not like I'm trying to go after making this a drone that we're going to sell into the Department of Defense. That's not the intention of that at all. It's really just people going from, I can't buy Chinese drones. I have this. If you can't use this because you need it to be made in the US, you need it to be NDAA compliant, blue, green, that's a different subset of drones. And I think that that's really important for this message is like what we are and what we're not as an identity. And really it's just trying to serve people with the drones that they love to use that they were told they can't use anymore because of where it comes from.
I got what you're saying. See, so basically,
I have
where it is right now, as far as that being, excuse me, as far as it being like in that tier level of drone, this is not for the average user. This is for somebody who's actually in the workspace that say that it may need something for that enterprise level of use, maybe even for the first responders on. But what I've noticed is that there's been talk about in recent time of things that are being implemented to push for more tariffs on drones coming in from imports and the usage of money from tariffs to put forth to American companies to produce drones that have
Where-
parts that are
Where
only.
do you hear that? Because that's totally like an idea I've been pushing forever. Is if you want to really do something, tax this
They're
like 50,
really looking,
100%. What was
they're
that?
really looking into it.
And this is things that are being proposed by what's her name? I believe Alan Stefanik on her new proposals and stuff like that. So, I keep my ear a little bit to what's going on.
Yeah, I'm for it, man. I'll tell you
Uh-huh.
straight up. My company is meant to support U.S. drone operations and the ecosystem around it, the drone developers, the drone service providers, those commercial type users that were used to using Chinese-made drones, which were the best in the world, and then they were told they can't. We're trying to support that.
Well-
However, if the country of origin ban goes away, and if it's now back to sanity where it's like, I don't care if it's made in China, I just care that the data's secure, and that's really what the argument is. I'm sure that Chinese manufacturers will come up, meet that standard, or exceed that standard of data security because they have the money to do it. It's not about taking data. So
Right.
they'll do that thing. My business will be less relevant, and I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I think that people should be flying the best technology that suits them as far as their budget that they have available.
Mhm.
As an American, I mean, like,
Agreed.
I watched the Olympics this summer. I'm going to be cheering for the red, white, and blue in every single event. But that doesn't mean that I dislike or I hate the others, and it doesn't mean that I want a competitor that's better than an American to be like disqualified for having the wrong color shoelaces. Like let's just compete. I'm all about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
No, I
understand that. Now, there's a question. Irvin, I got a question from the chat real quick. Actually, two quick. The
Anyone's
first one
questions
is,
are welcome.
are there any contacts, any chance will you guys provide a trade-in or a trade-in to swap off set price of their product, meaning I'll trade in my Mavic 3 Enterprise for a discontinued Raptor or something along that line, get where you, and then the question is, what other drones are in the pipeline, if any?
Okay, I'll answer both of those. As far as the trade-in program goes, like I don't know what I would do with a bunch of other manufacturers' drones when something gets traded, and I don't really have use for that. I understand the purpose, but we really kept the price pretty competitive. Now, if your organization is like shutting you down because you're using Chinese drones and you're looking at alternatives, I didn't cause that. It's not, because I exist that change is happening. And like I do want to have people adopting our technology, flying ANZU robotics drones because, that obvious. I like what I stand for. I like what the business stands for. I think that it gets people out of a lot of muddy water. But as far as a trade-in program, we're a week-old company. I can't say that I have a program like that devised and worked out, but anything is open. Especially through our reseller network, because all of our drones are sold through a reseller network rather than sold directly. They often have trade-in programs where they can have customers that are looking for less expensive options that they don't care if it's Chinese or where the drones come from, but they're trying to get training drones or they're trying to get replacements. That might be a avenue through the reseller network rather than directly through the manufacturer. And then your second question was about the pipeline or the roadmap that we have. Again,
Yes.
week-old company.
Yes.
We started with two of the most popular enterprise models that are out in the world, knowing that we would have a customer base that would want these things. As you go up the ladder to more expensive and more elaborate and complicated builds, you have different payloads that you need to figure out how to manufacture. You have a much larger footprint as far as storage space goes, and the addressable market is much smaller. We have the opportunity to explore those things, but at this point, we're just at these two products. And then, we already talked about the consumer stuff. I think someone else probably has the licensure and probably some exclusivity on consumer stuff. I don't know that agreement, but it's not one that I'm like chasing. I think more so what I'm interested in as the head of ANZU Robotics is learn what technologies also complement this, and either we build some of that stuff ourselves and we have products that are not licensed but carry the ANZU name as well, or it could be that we're looking at ground robots and things like that that also are made abroad that there's some country of origin issues with, and we could try to resolve that as well. Because what we built is a blueprint, and we have the facilities and the know-how to build out robotic technologies in a way that is compliant with a lot of the US regulations. And so we probably will do more of it. But as of right now, 1 week in, I don't really know exactly what's going to come next.
So basically what you're saying is a possibility that, let's say that in a year and a half from now, DJI comes out with the enterprise version of the Maverick series, a fourth edition. It's a possibility that you would have a model similar to that, or with running on your own software and everything like that.
I would say that there's a likelihood that we would
a
try
lot of the other products that they might have.
I would think that we would have access to it, and we would just determine whether that product's different enough for us to redo all the work that's necessary to become a manufacturer. I mean, so securing supply chain, even if I give you the recipe, right? I give you a recipe for a really complex cake. First of all, you're going to have some of the ingredients might be difficult to come by. You know, you don't have it at your local grocery store. You have to go to a specialty store. You have to order it online. You have to wait for that stuff. You have to make sure it's fresh. You have to make sure it tastes good. Like there's a lot of elements to recreating someone else's recipe. And we've been at this for 15 months before we launched to know that we were cooking it right. And then there's the other aspect, which is it worth the cost? I mean, to redevelop all of that, even if you get it tasting right, are people going to jump from Coke to cherry Coke, or last year's model of Tesla to this year's model? Like, how many people care? And we have to gauge that and make a business decision. It would depend on what the feature is, because if it's just slightly better sensors, more obstacle avoidance, maybe 10% longer flight time, that's a lot of work to get very little spec. And like you said, specs are specs, but 45 minutes and 50 minutes, if you look at flight time, they're comparable. And I don't know if I'd put out a whole new unit for that sort of change.
I got you.
Understandable. Now, this is surprising because usually we don't get a lot of questions from people in the chat. So I'm trying to keep up with the questions as well. I have my own set. But one is, I have an idea you kind of answered. What is the targeted box? I heard first responders. Can you expand? And I'm thinking, and the next one is really quick. Are there any other colors available? And how did you come up with that color green? Which, by the way, I noticed your shirt matches the color drone.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So let me answer that one first. So when we were at the time we were selecting plastic molding, this was a while ago, and it's not like we were given, like, you don't go to Home Depot and get a wall of different colors that you can get confused between, like mossy green and nature green. It's like we just were given green, right? So you're selecting between white, gray, black, purple, yellow, green. We're like, all right, green.
Okay.
Green looked good on a email. Green looked good. It was basically like a virtual thing. Looking at my screen, I was like, all right, if it's the color of my shirt, green, I'd buy a drone that color. It stands out. It's different. But then what we got was more frog green, more army man green, and we were like, all right, like, let's roll with it. And instead of like running away from it, we leaned into it. Like, it stands out. I'm at Exponential right now. I had one of these things in my hands, and everyone's like, oh, it's that green drone. Let's imagine it was gray. People don't even pay attention. It was white.
Right.
So, I mean, like, it wasn't an accident we chose green, but maybe the accident is that it is so stark and so like distracting that it's like, yeah, you know what that thing is from a mile away. And so it became part of the identity. When I was teasing the launch of ANZU, I was using that green, wearing that green. Like, sometimes it is what it is. It's kind of like AD with his unibrow. It's like, you shave off his unibrow, he loses his whole brand. You can't say that it's a good looking unibrow. You can't say that you're feeling that vibe, but at the same time, that's who he is. And he's leaned into it and said, look, I'm the guy with the unibrow. And for me, I'm the guy with the green drone. Remind me what the first question was. Sorry about that.
Okay, okay, the first question. Let me get back up to that real
Yeah, sorry
quick.
about that.
Well, are you just targeting like pretty much first responders and that goes back to the question I asked you about drone deploy and drone link, which are used across the industry of drone. Do you plan on expanding your SDKs or so that drone deploy drone link can have access to your birds?
Yeah, so public safety is just an easy one. I think we all understand what the people that protect and
Mm-hmm.
serve our communities are doing with drones. They're, looking for missing kids, they're looking at hotspots on fires. Like, it's a very clear use case. And just public safety has been so important to the growth of the industrial and enterprise use of drones. So we have a thermal enabled drone. This is the one that I showed you. I have the non-thermal over next to me as well. But when it comes to thermal cameras, we're
Right.
talking solar inspection, utility inspection. There's my guys at Ocean Alliance doing things, looking at whales, blowholes, and checking the temperature of whales to make sure that they're healthy. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on with thermal roof inspection.
Right.
So no, it's not just
Yes.
public safety. There's a lot of other industries that are benefiting from the thermal capabilities. But on the non-thermal capabilities, it's going to be a lot of photogrammetry stuff. So surveying, mapping, you got mining, looking at volumetrics of how much material that they blasted away off a wall or how much material that they have left to work with. Construction, then you're going to have the public safety aspects is that with accident reconstruction and things of that nature. So I can't say that we've really like targeted a market. As you know, like the leading manufacturers of drone technology, they build something it's pretty one size fits all. Like, you can do a cop can be
Right.
just benefited as a farmer with a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
And so we're not really focused on a industrial vertical as much as we're focused on solving that country of origin problem. And then again, to the SDK stuff, we're already working on the first partner that's going to bring out their stuff mostly for photogrammetry. So we're going to see a lot more of that construction survey mapping type user using our stuff on the non-thermal version. But like, there's organizations like Raptor Maps and SiteMark that are focused on doing solar inspection. That could be a possibility. There's folks like Loveland Innovations that are building software for insurance and roof inspection. Like, that's something that we could look into. So the sky's kind of the limit. And you're pointing out a good thing, which is the
Okay.
more that third parties develop on our stuff, the more that our drones are going to be useful in a much a wide variety of use cases. We're encouraging that. We just need to do it one step at a time to make sure that the data security piece is still strong when we have third parties developing on our drone and on our app.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so right
I
now,
think you go ahead, Herman.
so right now, what you're meeting is the country of origin issue that seems to be a problem here in the United States, whereas that it's not the technology, it's so much of the country of origin. They almost could care less what the product is. It's just the country of origin is what they're more concerned.
Yeah, I mean,
You're feeling it.
country of origin
You're,
being
you're, go ahead.
not only where it's manufactured, but also we've solved the problem of where the ownership is. Obviously, I'm an American guy. The country's founded is established in the U.S., and that we're legally responsible for everything that occurs under U.S. laws. But I think that there's also just concerns around data security in which there's not the same standards in other places in the world. So bringing that on
I
the
agree
US
with
side
you.
of things and having the US software, having our partner Aloft be ISO 27001 and SOC 2 Type 2 certified with data security, being audited by the FAA, that shows a lot of things that we've done in extra steps to be, well, it's country of origin, but it's also really to the root cause, which is how secure is your data. And so we're not trying to just do the bare minimum. We're taking the best technology in the world as far as that class of drone. We're manufacturing in a place that isn't concerning for the purpose of data security and who gets that data. And then we're taking all these other precautions as well, so that what you end up with is world-leading technology on the hardware side. You have a wide variety of different software options that you could use in the near future, and then you have that
Right.
data security piece that's validated by a third-party penetration test, which is underway right now.
Right. Well, what I know Aloft is your software provider for the apps that
Yeah.
the program is going to run on. As far as the talking about where the data is going to be stored and stuff like that, the servers that it's going to be on.
Yeah.
Like that was like a big concern with everybody with DJI. Where does that data go to? Where does that data go to?
Mhm.
And with you being an American company, I think that would probably help soothe everybody's issues in that, and like knowing where the data comes from, where it's going to actually.
Correct. Yeah, so everything is stored on Aloft's owned servers, which are AWS East servers, located somewhere on the
Yes.
East Coast in the United States. Amazon is a well-known company, and their servers, they talk about their own protocols for security. But we're not just saying that because it's on an Amazon server, it can't be penetrated. That's why we are looking at the endpoints of everywhere that the data is captured within the drone to the point of rest. So while capturing and when in rest, where does that data go? It's stored on the SD card. That's a physical item that now
Right.
is responsibility of the pilot. But everything that goes up to the cloud, everything that leaves the drone, or everything that's stored on the drone itself, we're making sure that it's encrypted, and we're making sure that it's held and only transferred in a way that stays on those Aloft AWS servers and doesn't get shared or can be compromised by a third party. And I think that where the server is located is important. I think that the size and the robustness of Amazon and them being the servers, the owner or the host of those servers is important. But we're doing many layers on top of that to just make sure that when it comes to flying our drone in a place that you feel like your data is either you want to keep it private or it's sensitive, that there's no concerns of using our drones. And to be honest, I don't think that there's a reason to be concerned necessarily about using DJI drones either. I think that they've proven their security through NASA reports, through the Department of Interior reports. So they've taken those steps too. But for those that are unbelievers, just because of where the country of origin is, that I'm trying to solve for that.
Okay, really quick, because I still
Yeah.
haven't even slipped any of my questions, but two questions in one. One question is, do you plan on selling, being that this objective is to replace the drones that cannot be used here in the United States, do you plan on having any kind of bulk deals for law enforcement agencies, et cetera? And the second one is, what is the goal of your company in the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years in the drone world?
So as far as the sales processing goes, we've published pricing publicly, and everything's going through our reseller network. When it comes to serving public safety, we're going to do right by public safety. So is there
Right.
bulk deals? That's all going to depend. It's largely going to depend on our reseller partners to kind of formulate those sorts of things. So I can't really say how that's going to work out, but yeah, I mean, we want to make things happen, and the whole point is to make it so that budgets go longer, especially with the folks in the industrial space. And then
Yeah.
where do we want to be in 5 years is obviously we want to be thriving. We want to be serving the industry. But I mentioned this earlier that for me to be successful, the more geopolitical problems and the more scare tactics that are used against China, it's better for me, right? It's like the more people that say I can't fly Chinese, that I'm going to be the one that's knocking on their door next to say, yeah, I got the next best thing, right? But that's not a world I want to live in. I don't think that what Florida did with public safety is the right move. I've been well documented over the years in saying that when you say that country of origin is the reason we ban something, and then you have to jump straight to the blue list, which gives you only drones that are not where they're blue because they're meant for defense users, and they're not even close to the same quality of technology. At least the initial blue list was nowhere near. That's problematic. So if we see that happen in all 50 states, I'm assuming you guys are in New York. I don't know actually know that for sure. But
Yes,
if you're in
Yeah,
New
yes,
we're in
York
New York.
State,
yes,
if you're in
yes.
New York State and you see that, all the drones that are serving your communities are shut down based off of country of origin, and now they have to move to another manufacturer that's charging significantly more, you're going to have less drone pilots on the force because there's less drones for them to fly. You're going to have less people encouraged to look for jobs in the drone space because there's less drones for them to fly. The budgets are going to be shrunk. And then now you're exposing a community to, when you have one incident here and you have one incident there and you only have one drone, how do you respond to that? It's
Right.
bad policies that put American lives at risk. It puts American jobs at risk. It is just not sensible legislation. I am not for my business getting stronger because of legislation getting worse. That's not how I want to do this. I would love for people to be like, look, Randall, I like you. I like the color green that you chose. I'm willing to pay more money for your product than a Chinese product just for that reason. That's cool. I also want to earn people's trust. I want to earn their loyalty. I want to be like, I've been in the drone space long enough that I've listened and I know how to be more present and more available and make changes that other drone manufacturers and their leadership wouldn't make. So I hope in 5 years that we have a reputation of being a really damn good drone manufacturer wherever the products come from. One that has always done what they say they're going to do. I hope that we have minimal hiccups and minimal roadblocks because every company in the world will have them. There's times that you'll, make a mistake on forecasting and you'll run out of drones and people will be like, I want to buy 200 more. And you're like, I don't have them. And that's, a fact
Yeah,
of life.
yeah.
I just
That's a
hope that
good thing.
yeah, but I hope that people ultimately see us as a transparent company trying to do right by not only the American people, but the, customers we serve wherever they are in the world, that we are providing solutions that in some cases are unique and some cases are just what you wanted and we just reformulated that recipe. And I don't mind that identity at all. As long as we stay true to who we are and stay true to that mission in 5 years, yeah, like that's the reputation I think I hope to get.
Okay,
That's
well,
good. We go ahead, Herman, really quick. Go
with the
ahead.
country of origin being an American issue, the
It's
drone.
not just an American issue.
But the reason why I say that is because we're right now the only ones who have bills and stuff that we've been constantly pushing.
No.
And
These in the United Kingdom, they're pushing something
yes,
called a debarment. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. I thought that
No, no
might
worry.
cut out, but you were showing your screen. So there's a debarment list that's going to come out at some point.
Mhm.
That debarment list is going to say, look, you can't use funds to buy anything
Okay,
that's on this list. That debarment list is threatening drone technology.
from
So
China.
no, yeah, from China, and that's in the
Okay,
United Kingdom. Australia is having similar issues. Japan has already had
Really?
issues. Yeah,
Really?
like
okay.
this is a widespread problem. There are countries in Europe and around the world that don't care. But there are countries that are very concerned about the same things we're concerned about in the United States, which is the safety of our people, the security of our data. They don't want people flying around sensitive areas like military training bases. They don't want people flying Chinese drones
Infrastructures,
around
yeah.
nuclear
Right,
power plants. But like, look,
understandable.
it's not that hard to be like, if you are a nuclear power plant, go buy a drone that's not Chinese. But if you're a cop or a farmer, go fly around your stuff with Chinese drones all day long. There's no reason
Right,
not.
right.
Right, but see,
Really
but
quick.
here's the thing: is the
Oh,
DJI drones being geofenced, right?
Mm.
A lot of these areas that are, actually labeled as critical infrastructure that have geofencing around it, these drones are not able to take off and fly into those areas or even fly in the area properly, supposedly.
You're preaching to the choir, my man. You're
and
preaching to the
and
choir.
and I just want to let you know, Randall, really quick. Herman mentioned that we need one of your drones for what we do because we had the issue of a job site right next door to a prison.
Mm-hmm.
And there were certain things we could not do with the DJI drone that we would have been able to perform with your drone. But getting real quick, there was one thing I wanted to mention, and this is one of my personal questions. I know you're pressed for time. I know you had a long day. Everyone wants to buy ANZU drones. Say we start buying them just as much as we're buying DJI. tell us about ANZU Austin.
Sorry, what was
Because
that last word?
at ANZU Austin, is that your
Austin.
repair center? And tell us
Oh.
about it, because people want to buy your stuff and want to know where they're going to get it fixed.
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing that you can assume is when we've licensed this technology, we have a pretty good idea of what the failure rate or the, defect rate is within those drones. And with this manufacturer, they manufacture a lot of drones and they see very little defects. I think that we'll be on par with that. So we kind of are aware of what, numbers we might see as far as return drones. We also include ANZU care within all of our drones. So when you do have an incidental accident, we're prepared to repair those as well. All that is being handled in the United States, but we're doing that through some of our reseller network partners that are accustomed to fixing drones. As of right now, there isn't a ANZU dedicated team in Austin to repair drones. No, because that's not what we need right now. We haven't even shipped any of them, but
Right.
we will grow into ourselves and identify the needs that we have. If it doesn't make sense to have that done through our network of partners, we could pull that in ourselves. We're not against doing that. But if you're one other thing to note is the Austin, Texas address is where the company will be expanding when we have needs for our own engineering team, sales and marketing people, whatever. That's where it will be. But as of right now, the team is split up around the country of a lot of different people doing a lot of different tasks. But I'm based in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's where I will continue to live, and so it's kind of weird. Like the headquarters is in Austin, and that's where it will be built out. But right now, like it's really in my basement office where I make the magic happen when I'm not in San Diego for Expo, and my third party logistics company that's in Salt Lake as well for all the shipping of drones and handling of the inventory.
Okay. Well, is there anyone, like any of the influencers or anyone out there that's on, like, say, YouTube or whatever, that have your product that is out there
No,
with it?
no, there's 8 of them in San Diego right now. Those are the only 8 that are not sitting in a warehouse waiting to be shipped out to customers. So yeah, I have 3 of them in the room next to me, and 5 of them are on the, well, no, that's a lie. 3 of them next to me, 4 of them are on the trade show floor at Exponential in San Diego, and then one of them is being used by a user out in the field today. But those are the only ones that are active from the production units.
Well, I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on, because I know you're pressed for time. Your stomach is probably feeding off of itself by now.
No, I got some pizza on the way back, and I was eating that pizza waiting for you guys to start up. So
Good.
This is my half-eaten folded New York style pizza that I got in San
You
Diego.
could have ate and talked, man. Just
Hell
as long as
no.
you had a napkin.
No, I wanted to show up on time and you guys be like, this guy did exactly what he said he did. We went back and forth a little bit with the link. I was like, I'm set. And then I checked your emails. I was like, no way did I miss that. So again, I hope you guys see it as like no disrespect. It was a priority of mine. I left that show early to come and make sure I was here. I would show you my messages of being like, sorry, I can't have a meeting. I got a podcast thing to go to. So it's like,
this is good, because there were people in the chat saying, I hope he knows the time zone, and we held you down. We had your back.
So
Still.
I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us and discussing this drone, because like you're the hottest talk in town right now.
Yes.
Hey, appreciate that.
Yes.
You know,
yes. And to take time and come on and see. Oh, one last thing for copyright purposes. We showed your ANZU video when you were supposed to come on at 5 after. So you, at some time and point, your YouTube channel may say, this channel over here is showing your video content. Do you get permission to do so?
I will give you permission to do so. No problem.
Thank you, because it will come up as a copyright hit. Hey, this guy's showing your stuff over there. You know, I just want to give you a heads up.
What I would say to you guys is thank you for, I mean, you guys were what, 200 and something episodes into this thing, right? 290 or something like that. You've been
and
at
that's
it
before he started counting.
That's wild. And I'll say thank you for paying attention. Thank you for serving the people that are following you guys to do this thing. I know consistency with doing these kind of shows is so tough. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're getting all the love you deserve. So I want to say thanks for, you know, standing up for and evangelizing drone technology. to the people that, you know, are coming in and listening to you as like their guiding light or their guiding voice in navigating this space. Yeah, sharing your platform with me is an honor. I don't,
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you.
I'm sure there's people that have never heard of me that joined today and now they have, and I'm grateful for that because no matter how hard you try, you can't impact everybody. But if I was impactful to one person, if they understand the story, they understand what I'm trying to do, you know, maybe they can share that they've heard me speak, they, you know, trust what I'm saying, they understand the mission, they understand the goal. It makes all the difference. So really, you guys holding me a spot and holding me your time and forgiving me for my bad timing.
All right.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Don't worry about it, but I want to also give you an invite. If you ever come to New York City and you want some good pizza, hit us up.
Hell yeah. Like
Hit us
consider it
up,
done.
man. Seriously.
Consider it done.
In one
You
day
guys
I
are
can
in the
take you
city?
to go ahead.
You're in the city?
Look,
in
I'm
the city.
in Queens. Herman is in Brooklyn.
All
I'm
right.
40 minutes by car, even longer by subway. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You come to New York and you want some real pizza, man.
Yeah.
Hit us up,
I'll
definitely.
get on the L. I'll be out there. Don't worry. Cool.
Any-
Well, you guys
Anything
have
you want to
anything else?
say? Anything you want to say? We appreciate you.
I
Yeah, I
just
appreciate you. I think that the appreciation only should be one directional. You gave me your platform, you let me speak. So yeah, I'm humbled by the invite. I'm humbled by you guys even hearing about this, paying attention, giving me space to speak. Again, it means a lot, and hopefully you see big things from us. And for sure, when I get to New York, pizza aside, I'll make sure to hit you guys up.
Yes, man. Yes, you've got nothing but praise in the chat. People say good God, good stuff, guys. They hope this company does goes where it wants to go. You've got a lot of good comments in the chat. And
Awesome.
like you said, if we can pass this on to the rest of the community and they watch replays of our stream more than they are here live, it's a plus.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to say one thing. You said you didn't have any idea about doing anything consumer wise, but some of these same guys that fly Part 107 some of these guys fly recreational. They're gonna crash their drones anyway at the same rate.
That's true. That is true.
This is true, but thank you, Randall. Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Thank you.
it, man.
Really
And we would
appreciate
like to have you on in the future to do a recap or something to see how things are going, you know.
You hit me up.
We
I'll
will
be
keep
there.
in touch. Keep us in
Yo,
your role.
all I'll say is that when you do reschedule this, I'll say, all right, you're talking Eastern time. You'll say, yeah. I'll be like, all right, I'm putting in my calendar for where I'm going to be the following day. Because I swear what I did is I put you in as mountain time, which is where I'm from. And then I thought that it held it there rather than went back an hour. So that's on me. We'll make sure we get it right next time.
It doesn't matter. You made it here, and we appreciate you for that.
100%.
Thank you.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right, man. Thank you
All right,
again.
bye.
All right.
Well, you
that
guys
was-
asked
that
for
was
it.
great.
You asked for it. You got it. We had Randall Warnas here. We appreciate him for coming in. Hopefully, while we were busy complaining, America needs a drone company to stand up to DJI. Well, this was working in the cuts while we were complaining.
Well, see, what I like about it is that we don't lose the technology that we
That's
love
here.
because DJI is a product that we all have accustomed to using.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they've licensed their product, their technology to him for him to expand on it. It's no different than, like I said, Android. Android has licensed their technology, that application to many different manufacturers to produce phones and tablets with the Android operating system or the same thing. But just that now he's using Aloft as the software.
And I'm ecstatic about
I'm
that.
really interested in this drone because of that fact that Aloft is the software provided us on this. I'm really, really interested in this. You're welcome, Jackrabbit.
Yeah, you know, you're interested in it. I am as well. I would like to see the bird in action. I'd like to get my hands on one, whatever it takes to add it to our fleet. We have to look into that seriously.
Because you're getting the ability to get
Non-geofenced.
Lance approval on the same application that you're flying with.
Right, you're not leaving the application like DJI does. You actually leave the DJI application to open up another application to request Lance authorization through a loft, which a loft is already built into their
already
software.
built in. So and
anytime
also
there's an
all the
update.
notifications and everything are right there before you even take off.
Yes. And did
Advisories and everything.
I wanted to point out that I think this is going to go pretty well for the United States. Me hearing word that they also plan on building, I think in New York, don't quote me, I said it earlier, a chip factory here in New York. I don't know how true it is. I will do more research by our next live stream. But for you guys that ask questions, we appreciate you guys. You guys did well tonight, and you behaved yourselves in the chat. Huh?
We got a few things left to cover. So
Yeah.
what I want to do is shoot straight to Drone to Dare, and then from there we go into the
Yeah. Give me a second to set up for the Drone to Dare thing. Because
the commercial expo.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. You went there. All right. Drone to Dare. For pilots who are looking to scale their operations, book appointments, record keeping, show your work with a website that'll show off all your work that you have done. They also have tools to become a more knowledgeable pilot. So if that's something that you're looking for, Drone to Dare is for you. Drone to Dare.
There you go. Very well done. That was done. That was done quite nice there. And we wanted to say, I want to say thank you to you guys out there in the chat. They actually behaved and remained professional, and
Is that right?
I didn't know if Randall could see the chat live or not. So I was like trying to keep up with what was going on and keep the questions going also. But I'd like to say that was one of our better interviews that we've had on as of lately. Yeah, you may agree, you may not. That's just me personally.
We say that, John. We know.
What did John say? Hold it. Didn't the loft also have something to do with Skydio also? I thought.
Yes, they did. They launched a UTM with them on something to do with the X10. If you'd like, I don't really do too many Skydio reports.
If you notice, you don't hear us talk a lot about Skydio. We'll go into that at a different live stream. That's a whole nother live stream. We want to keep the positive flow right here with ANZU Robotics. I keep putting the website in the chat. I think it was good. Hopefully you guys got a lot of questions answered. And for those of you who got here late, you're gonna have to watch the replay.
No, it's okay. You can watch the replay.
But we appreciate it. I'm probably gonna watch the replay in the morning while eating breakfast.
What I was talking about earlier, and I wanted to just kind of briefly scoop.
Thank you, John. You see what John put? JC?
Yes.
Now, this is a real show. You never leave without something. That's a fact. And we appreciate you for that.
Thank you, John. That's what
and Scott agreed. Scott agreed.
You know what I wanted to mention to you, and this is something I was talking about when I mentioned with Randall when he was here. You know, right now, Congress has this new legislation supposedly to balance the security, national security. And I'm quite sure everybody has seen articles on it, and there's been articles floating around in different areas, and one in particular with Drone DJ, which is something that everyone is accustomed to checking out. But in Congress, woman, I remember I had mentioned her, Elaine Ellis, or whatever, Stefanik. she's pushing this new thing here to supposedly seek to secure drones for first responders. Now,
Okay.
what their biggest issue in claiming is that we all talked about the security issues, but they're looking to balance the between the enhancement of the national security and the domestic drone manufacturers, which focuses on a few key points of this bill, because their issue is that DJI and the Chinese manufacturers they hold like 90% of the commercial space in
Yes.
drone operations. Like, we use it, everybody else uses them, everyone's using them. You see Recovery One Draymond, he uses them, everyone's using them.
Right.
Everyone's using DJI's products and Autel's products to do this work. So and then we're just a small fraction of the people who are using drones to do this type of work.
True.
But this act is looking to, like I said, first they're looking to like I said, secure things from the first responders, but to briefly knock this up real quick, they're looking to implement tariffs on the drones at starting at 30%, and an increase annually of 5% on Chinese manufactured drones being imported into the country. Now, they're talking about a grant program. Now, this grant program, which is supposed to take the funding from these tariffs and to sponsor also for agricultural this agricultural sector. They want to take they're trying to reduce the drones coming into the country from the People's Republic of China, as they call it.
Okay.
So basically, as far as what they're saying with these new implements on this bill that Ms. Stefanik is trying to implement, she is really going in hard, because now they're looking at taking the funding from the tariffs
Mm-hmm.
and using that and I'm all for this portion of it, but I'm not for me having to pay more for the drone that I want to purchase. But she wants to put money forth towards manufacturers to be able to build drones to catch up to Chinese manufacturers.
I get it. I get it.
The issue that I have with that is the fact that I'm being hit with money to purchase this drone. The also this has funding for the replacement and to fund some of the government issued first responders
Mm-hmm.
to purchase new drones.
Okay.
That's where this is actually going with this first responders thing. And like I said, I'm all for that, but I'm not for but this is crazy with the implementation of these tariffs and how they want to keep increasing them. What do you think on that?
Over time, I could see them saying, okay, we're going to charge you tariffs from here to here, but each year the tariffs are just going to get higher and higher. And eventually DJI and or other companies are just going to say, we don't have to sell in the United States. The United States is not the only market out there. In fact, we, the United States, make up a very small percentage of DJI brought products around the world.
Well, as you see, and you mentioned it earlier about certain agreements and sharing the technology, which is the same thing that happens with the whole breaking up of monopolies and guys being able to produce a product, sell that product for a certain amount of time, and then you now have to give up that spec to others to be able to do aftermarket. And we see that now with the automobile industry. And I guess that now DJI will probably be licensing out a lot of their products to other companies to be able to produce that tech right here in the United States. And they'll still make money off of those agreements.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they'll be able to operate wherever they are able to operate. And, you know, it's ugly, but it is where we're going, you know. And I just think that I see that I hope that like we mentioned a few weeks back with the Contigo, I hope that that is something that can flourish, because most of our people that come and here and hang out with us and we share with our consumers. They're well, not only consumers, but they're hobbyists. They're guys that are flying to have a good time. They enjoy flying their drones. And being able to have, we went to a meetup in Florida of a bunch of guys who are not only Part 107 operators, but they're hobbyists. And these guys enjoy flying their drones. Some of them enjoy flying their drones more than the guys who are flying for a living.
True.
You know,
True.
and I want to see these guys continue to be able to fly their drones and be able to operate their drones safely, because they're the ones that have proven that this industry is safe and that these drones can operate in our airspace safely. So I want them to be able to still operate their drones and still be able to fly. And that's why I always push and ask those questions. You know, who's going to make the next consumer drone for people to be able to fly it? You know, I'm flying commercially for the most part with my drones, and I'm using an off-the-shelf consumer drone. Because the workload that I have predominantly, majority, I say 99.9% of it can be done with a consumer off-the-shelf drone.
Yes.
Country of origin is an issue. Now, should I pay that much more money for it? You know, it is what it is.
If we have to, then we'll have to comply.
You know,
But
so
I wanted to mention one last time before we get out of here about this no-fly zone, because it just changed. As we were doing the show, I showed the no-fly zone, and there was a circle around the UN. There was currently another no-fly zone around Yankee Stadium up in the Bronx that just came up. There's an effective no-fly zone for there. But this total no-fly zone is effective from 4/24, 17:30 Zulu hours, which is 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, until 4:25, 0:30, until tomorrow night, midnight, 12:30 tomorrow night, Zulu time, from surface to ground, 30,000 feet in this area alone. Then the others vary. But
that's probably the game.
For the most part, they don't want you flying in New York until at least midnight tomorrow. Okay. Like I said, the Yankees game, that'll be over at 3:05. Wow, TFR effective from 22:05 until 3:05 in the morning. All right. Okay. Valid for 4 hours. Well, it is what it is, guys. Just wanted to let you know, if you planned on flying anywhere between tonight and tomorrow, you're doing it at your own risk, especially around the UN and Yankee Stadium, as well as this inner circle here that covers.
That only affects the people operating here in this tri-state area or New York City area.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you got time for the Nanook?
The Nanook?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we do. Of course we do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Why not? Give me 1 second to queue up the Nanook, and I can do it right here.
Okay, for you guys out there that like hard cases for your drones or for any other protective items that you might want to protect, from gimbals to cameras to watches and even firearms, and Nanook. For 10% off on all your Nanook products, there's Phantom Flight 10. Use the coupon code for 10% off. That's Phantom Flight 10. Thank you.
There you go. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
You know, we had a couple other stories to share with guys tonight that we weren't able to get in. But you know, maybe I'll bring some of them back next week with
Right.
some other stuff to talk about. You know,
Scott, you're way down there. You don't have to worry about it. Thank you,
yeah, we
Angie.
got caught up in the time and stuff like that with Randall, with the time and difference and stuff like that, so it threw us off a little bit. But I hope you guys were able to you know, you guys enjoyed, you know, what, because you guys were the ones that sparked the interest in it, in the
Yes, you
story.
brought it up to us.
And you know, you were the ones that asked for it, so I went out and looked for the information for you.
Yes, and we did say, Herman, as soon as we find out more information, we would get back to you guys. And like the stream says, you asked for it and you got it. Straight from the CEO, Randall Warnas from ANZU Robotics. And with that, be safe, fly safer.
Is that time already? Oh wow, it is. Oh wow, okay. So I guess that's it, Lars.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
We
Dinner
gotta say,
time.
we gotta say
Yeah.
goodbye to the people.
And we have to say goodbye. And thank you again, Randall Warnas, from CEO from ANZU Robotics.
Thank you, Randall. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you all in the chat for coming and hanging out with us. We appreciate you all. You know, without you guys in the chat, you know, none of this would be possible, because we're here because you're here to hang out with us. So we share what we feel like sharing, you know. Certain information I come across sparks my interest. I want to share it with you guys. I also want to make sure that you guys know what's coming next and not be blindsided with what's out there coming, because there's a lot of things coming your way. A lot of things the FAA doesn't tell us. So as we know, as I find out, things I find out, things I read and share, I'll share with you guys. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. And we'll see you next time with Phantom Flight 101 and
those guys.
those guys. Good night, everyone.